Between Evita in 1979 and The Phantom of the Opera in 1988, Hal Prince had 4 Broadway flops in a row, and he kept going. Just perseverance like you wouldn't believe. Merrily Roll Along, A Doll's Life, Grind, and Rosa in a row. Grind was an incredibly ambitious 1985 musical about a burlesque house in the 1930s that featured both black and white performers, including an aging comic, an Irish rebel, a stripper, and a song and dance man.
The show was about segregation, immigration, poverty, bigotry, growing old, career failures, loneliness, lack of inclusion for all amidst the progress being heralded in America, the Great Depression, terrorism, and more. Grind also used show business as a metaphor, much in the manner of Follies and Cabaret. The show's title referred to both the bumps and grinds of burlesque and to the way life grinds us down.
Look at that amazing production photo. Isn't that beautiful? The reviews definitely did their part in grinding the creators down. The show received 15 negative reviews, 7 mixed, 2 favorable, and 1 on the fence. In the Daily News, yeah, that's a lot of reviews. In the Daily News, Douglas Watt wrote, "There are just 2 things wrong with Grind, the book and the songs." Actually, you can listen to Grind on the cast album, and the score has many fascinating moments by Larry Grossman and Ellen Fitzhugh, and a book by Faye Kanan.
So Bob Fosse show-doctored Lester Wilson's choreography, which was largely led by Ben Vereen and Leilani Jones. Jones won the Tony for Best Featured Actress in a Musical for Grind, and Florence Klotz won for Best Costume Design. The show was nominated for Best Musical in a famously dry season that also included Best Musical nominations for Leader of the Pack, Quilters, and Big River, which won. Interestingly, all 4 shows had much to do with nostalgia for earlier times.
Grind has some striking similarities to a musical from a decade later, Ragtime. Not only did both shows intertwine the journeys of characters from different races and nationalities, Grind also had one of its main characters turn to terrorism and bombing a public place as a means of protest and seeking social justice. Coming as it did after Merrily and A Doll's Life, Grind elicited extreme statements about the status of Hal's career. Most recognized the ambition of the show, and many acknowledged the high level of Hal's contributions, but there were also overall statements like, "For the last few years, Harold Prince has been a man in search of a musical, an odyssey that reflects the plight of the Broadway musical itself, desperately chasing its old glory," from Newsweek.
And some were even more cruel. The New York native wrote, "Grind spins around and refuses to take off and fly. Grind your teeth and go see Dreamgirls again."
I like the people that gasped, because yes, that's the correct
How
response.
dare you? Women's Wear Daily wrote, "If you want a kick in the groin, aren't there less expensive ways to get one than going to the theater?"
Savage.
Savage. Negative stuff. Some critics placed all of the blame for the show on Hal, and this one also said, "With the opening of Grind the Mark Hellinger, another nail has been driven into the coffin of musical theater. At the hammer is Harold Prince."
I would like to send that critic something.
Those are fighting words. It's quite the opposite.
Hal announced after Grind that he would be taking an informal sabbatical to ponder how to cope with the evolving pitfalls now present in musical theater. Following each performance, men in the Hellinger lobby handed out balloons that said, "Broadway comes alive again," and that was always Hal's intention. The New Yorker acknowledged the present sorry standard of the Broadway musical and credited Grind with at least trying to change things under the energetic and inventive direction of Harold Prince.
Variety wrote, "As a musical stager, Prince remains outstanding, but as a judge of material and an analyst of theatergoers' taste, he's in an obvious and regrettable decline that can be read as paradigmatic of the creative backslide of Broadway in general." Prince kept going, and in the next decade, all of these critics would eat their words as he presented everything from The Phantom of the Opera to Kiss of the Spider Woman. Thank you. Hal never stopped trying to find serious-minded, meaningful material that could succeed on Broadway. In New York Times, Frank Rich wrote, "For all that's gone wrong with Grind, one never stops admiring the valor with which Mr. Prince and company get themselves out there and give it all they've got." Here to sing one of Ben Vereen's big numbers from Grind, Kevin Ferguson.
This time, I'm traveling on the right track. This time, I'm staying for the long haul. What comes up by and by, her and I, we're gonna try. Giving and taking is all. bridges are burning and new leaves are turning. Ain't that something? I'm having such a time having brand new plans. Old plans in the dustbin, new turns in the road. Feels like I've just been paid what's owed. There's good things beginning, I can't lose for winning, and I'm happy. Seeing is how it's me, it's happened too. She just wants me to be me. I just found out that I can. Her and me. Her and me. Her and me. We got us a new man. Ain't she something? Ooh, yes. Old things